Good evening and welcome everybody to another Division E matchup. We've got NGS Division E tonight on our matches between, let's see, we got the Devil's Rejects versus the Baddest Dudes. Both teams seem like they're ready to go. Both teams are excited. It was a little spicy in the pregame. I'd also like to mention tonight, first co-casting experience for me and for the Lich Queen. So we got two people casting tonight. This is Lich Queen's first opportunity to cast. Why don't you say a quick hi to everybody, Lich Queen?
Hello.
Alrighty, so I've never co-casted before. She's never had the opportunity to cast before, so both of us are going to be trying this co-casting experience out. And what a better way than a fantastic playoff series between the Devil's Rejects and the Baddest Dudes. Let me get you guys over real quick to the map selection so you can see what's going on where we're at tonight. So the Devil's Rejects, they are the higher seed. They were the number 4 seed, so they got to choose between map selection or first pick, and they opted to go with first pick. So Baddest Dudes get to pick the map. The bands that came out, the Baddest Dudes banned Dragonshire and Infernal Shrines. The Devil's Rejects
Infernal.
banned Cursed Hollow and Tomb of the Spider Queen, and the map picked up was the Hanamura Temple from the Baddest Dudes.
I think Infernal Shrines was actually a target ban against the Devil's Rejects because they used to play it a lot and they performed well on it. Maybe it was because of that. And the Devil's Rejects, well, on the side of the Baddest Dude, they didn't. They planned on playing on the Tomb of the Spider Queens, which was very unexpected on their side. So,
Yeah.
sadly for the Baddest Dudes, they're not going on Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Hey, but I always love casting Hanamura Temple. Fun 2-lane map to get going on. Kind of a snowbally map. Can be a quicker map sometimes, it depends, but once that team gets that first tower down, it seems to turn a little bit into a snowball fest. So we'll see if that's going to be the focus of either team here. I'm going to get ready in the lobby real quick, see if these teams are ready to go. Make sure that everybody is set. I have had the opportunity to cast the Devil's Rejects. I have not seen the Baddest Dudes yet all season long, so I'm kind of excited that we're gonna have the my first experience with the Baddest Dudes. These
Oh,
teams,
you should be excited.
I'm certainly excited. These teams did meet before in the regular season. Benefit of being in the NGS, all teams have actually played each other in that series. The Devil's Rejects did win that series 2-0. So it was a domination for their side, but as we know, playoffs, all bets are off the table. It could be, we could see completely different strategies. We could see this, very similar strategies to what they ran there, but we already know that they played on Curse Hollow and Dragonshire on those previous maps, and both maps have been banned. So we're not even going to see the same maps that they had in that previous series.
Exactly. Everybody, I was like, everybody seems to be ready, but not on the side on the Baddest Dudes.
Yeah, looks like we're waiting real quick on a couple member of the Baddest Dudes. They're getting everything organized, getting strategies finalized, and then we should be jumping in here in a hot second or a cold second. Who knows? But
However, I would like to mention, the Devil's Reject seem to be also performing very well on that map. So we'll see how it turns out for the Baddest Dudes for picking Hanamura.
Oh, here we go. We're getting in. All right. We are getting into the draft screen. Apologies, there's always just this slight delay for some reason whenever I switch in my first series. It does clean up as it goes down. So for the fans at home, you will get a black screen for a second, but it will clear up and then we will be going in. And so we're getting to pick commands. And right away we see a Stitches ban.
Stitch's ban actually is because of a ghost that has been performing very well with the Stitches.
I was gonna say that had to have been a target ban because I don't
Target
typically see a
ban.
Stitches ban as the
Oh
first
no.
ban going through. So
Oh, definitely.
interesting first ban, and Tassadar coming out as a ban. Pretty standard champion.
No,
Tassadar is.
actually, it was a target ban also for Snuggly Ninja on the Devil's Reject side.
Tassadar being one of those, stronger mages he's gotten a couple of nerfs that they tried to tone him down a bit from a couple months ago when he was like a first pick, first ban priority always. And so a lot of people got comfortable on him. Sounds like Snuggly did. So nice respect nod going over there.
Delta.
Kael'thas ban. I usually see
Probably.
I usually see Kael'thas banned in these lower divisions.
Mhm.
The Division E, even the Division D, partly because a lot of people just don't play as well around the living bomb as you see in like the upper levels where positioning is a little bit more of a priority for some of those teams. So sometimes that living bomb could just
Mhm.
continue to spread and cause a lot of havoc throughout the team.
Agreed. And Gazlo band.
That's Gazlo. I on Tuesday night I got to cast the FF and the Pancakes. So we got to see a Gazlo play there. Gazlo was a strong offlaner. He got a little bit of a nerf, but already we're seeing Johanna being immediately picked up on the side of the Devil's Rejects. Strong champion. I always say nothing good. Or nothing bad about a Johanna. She has a very strong early and mid game. She does tend to fall off a little bit in that late game, but if she is doing well enough in that early and mid game, Johanna can just be
We
a
will forge
absolute
a
bully.
great destiny.
Hmm.
We see,
Matt Kaiser.
yeah, we see Mad Kaiser picking up the Anduin and Varian being picked up by Ghost. So Varian, I can see. I've seen both sides of the Varian coin on this map. I've seen the split push twin blade Varian do very well. I've seen it just utterly collapse, but he's able to put pressure on those camps. And I've also seen taunt Varian do fairly well, which is usually more of what I see.
Yeah.
So it'll be
Pretty
interesting to
sure it's
see
gonna
which
be
way
taunt.
that Varian decides to go. Orphea
Yeah,
and
taunt.
Stukov being picked up. I love watching Orphea play. Orphea is probably one of my favorite champions to see ever since they introduced her into this game. A good Orphea just can absolutely dominate a team fight if she is able to land all of her skill shots and just completely decimate the opposing team.
Tychus band.
Tyke is banned out on the side of the. Sorry, that is the baddest dude spanning out the Tychus.
Yes.
So looking like they don't want to see that since they're the ones banning the Tychus. It looks like to me that's saying that that's going to be an offlane variant and they're going to pick up another tank
Hmm.
as their main tank. Thrall
I
getting
must
banned out.
I must say Tychus is pretty annoying to play against as well.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Tychus can be an absolute bully if you've got a big beefy front line. We're in the meta right now where we've kind of got that double front liner, one being in the off lane, and then your mage auto attack and healer. So Tychus is able to
Anytime you're ready.
cause some terror, and he did get a lot of buffs recently, which makes him even stronger. But we see the Raynor and we see a Rexar, so it is going to be a main tank variant.
Yeah, and that might have been the reason why they banned Tychus.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be that taunt variant, which I like. Taunt variant seems to be a little more standard play. It leaves a lot less chance, and it creates a lot of lockdown. But they're going to need to pick some sort of mage that can follow up with a lot of burst onto that lockdown. Orphea is an ideal choice, but already picked up. We may see the Li Ming come out, possibly, or
Mm.
we could. I haven't seen Jaina in a long time. She's fallen out of the competitive scene, but it's a possibility. Junkrat and Urel picked up by the side of the Devil's Rejects. So rounding out that composition, Junkrat, he's kind of fallen out of the meta a little bit, but we saw him. Saw him last night in a Division D matchup on the Bad Matchmakers versus the Team Banshee, and the Junkrat put out like almost 200,000 damage on that map that he played on. So Junkrat can put out a significant amount of damage in the later game. Sylvanas rounding out the comp. So we didn't see necessarily the burst coming out for that lockdown variant that I was expecting. But Sylvanas is very strong on this map, being able to turn off those towers and create a lot of split pushing with that siege minion that gets picked up. It'll be in the top lane for the red team. All
Hmm.
right, Lich Queen, which team do you like more? Which comp do you like more? Who do you think's gonna pull out this game one?
I actually don't know. Let me check. Rexar is gonna be on the camps. For no, I'm not sure actually. Like, will Sylvanas be in the foreman? I'm pretty sure she will, and Rexar will, knowing the ERL. I don't know if it's gonna be Sylvanas grabbing the camps all around, or it's gonna be Rexar? No, Rexar will stay in the lane. I mean, I don't know. It's pretty much like they have both great team comps, I would say. Really curious about what's going to happen next.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like the team, overall team comp that I'm seeing out of the Devil's Rejects. They have an easier composition to work with, but I like the spiciness that I'm seeing out of the Baddest dudes. So it's gonna be how well they can execute. So on the side of the Devil's Rejects, we've got Snuggly Ninja sitting on that Orphea, D Nasty on the Stukov, Satan Saves on the Johanna, Corso on that Junkrat, and we've got Jakuval on the Urel.
And on the red side, we have Demon Ground on the Sylvanos Rainer, picked by Savior, and when picked by Matt Kaiser. TG Durlock picked the Rexar, and Varian picked by Ghost.
Alrighty, so we're probably going to spend a majority of this time in this bot lane. This bot lane is going to be where the 4-man will go, the top lane, that duel between Urel and Rexar. I don't expect it to go very, one person get the hand over the other. The Rexar is going to be a bully to the Urel, but Urel should be able to sustain it pretty well. So we'll spend a good chunk of our time in here, and then we'll follow around to camps, but yeah, I'm excited. I love this Division E action. I'm hoping this whole series goes to a Game 3.
It's going to be a really interesting game. Both teams have been playing very well. No sprays in the bot lane.
Yeah, and Snuggly Ninja already showing the damage that Orphe can put out, even at that level 1. Massive amounts of burst damage. As long as she can continue to land those skill shots, she'll be a fiend to reckon with.
Bot lane is cleared.
Looks like, we're seeing the Devil's Rejects kind of setting up maybe for a bush gank, trying to bait them around. Ghost AI, he's going to face check Snuggly Ninja, but Snuggly Ninja just able to walk away. Looking like they were trying to set up some sort of gank, over potentially baiting out that top vision camp, but it was scouted out well by the Varian, and everything kind of goes back to normal, what we usually see in this map with both teams starting to go over and take their camps. We got the Baddest dudes picking up their turret camp first. We've got the Devil's Rejects over here picking up their siege camp, finishing out pretty quickly. That's pretty standard. Both teams will just rotate top to get their respective opposite camps and then go back to lane. But we look like we're seeing the Baddest dudes. They're going to go fight over this objective first.
On the top lane, we'll see how Durlock is doing with Jakuval on the ERL. The blue wave is pretty cleared. Jakuval doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, it's that top lane is just going to be back forward. Rainer getting a little caught out here. The Stukov silence is allowing some of that damage to go down. Thankfully, he'll be able to heal. Nice boot by the Junkrat to knock Rainer back out on the side of the camp. Rainer getting down to quarter health. Nice burst, and that's going to be first blood going over to the Devil's Rejects. Great play by the Junkrat player there, getting some serious burst and then knocking the Rainer back out, able to get that kill and snowball his fight.
Actually behind the wall.
Yeah, he popped that bullet right over the wall, was able to finish him out over there, but we're seeing already that entire front tower is going down. That's going to create a lot of map pressure in favor of the side of the Devil's Rejects, and they're going to go up. They're going to get their turret camp and get this ready for this first objective that's going to come out. We do see the taunt already coming out on the Varian, which will help. Important note, Varian does get his ultimate at level 4 rather than level 10, so he does go into that taunt Varian as expected.
And the red side is grabbing their samurai right now. Just right before Omsh.
We do see the Devil's Rejects coming in. They look like they potentially may want to invade here. The camp's already been picked up. It should get picked up by the Sylvanas. Garing does go in, lands a taunt onto the Orphea. Gets some good burst down, but there was just no follow-up there. Both the Sylvanas and the Anduin had to back up, and so a little bit of miscommunication from the Varian, but he's able to walk away. Give a few good licks to the Orphea player and then just back off, and every team going back. Nice root by the Misha, getting 2 mans onto the Junkrat and the Orphea, but Misha not going to come back fast enough and does end up dying there. Ooh, Satan Saves does go in. He does get a W onto the Varian and to the Sylvanas, but Snuggly Ninja getting down to about an 8th HP. They still have to deal with the Siege Minion back here. That Siege Minion is going to continue to push the wave, so everybody getting low, but nothing going right now.
Not any for nobody on the off, that's what I meant to say. Oh, well, right now Rexar is on it. Looking maybe for a gank or clearing waves, maybe. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we do see this entire 4-man of the Devil's Rejects. They are going to be onto this objective. They're going to start pushing it up. The Junkrat, he should be able to zone people off fairly well, thankfully, due to that poke, and the Orphea as well. So they do have a lot of long-range poke and good disengage with the Stukov, the Orphea, and the Junkrat that they should be able to, as long as they can set up a fight well, the Devil's Rejects are going to love to be the ones in control of setting up these fights. We see Varian coming in, trying to get a setup. Raynor getting down, already bursted down about quarter HP here. Johanna landing a nice condemn, but the Sylvanas trying to flank around, get some more damage onto the backline, doesn't get the damage down, ends up banishing away. The objective went over to the Devil's Rejects, and so they're already going to start the siege onto this front turret. It should get the health fountain. It's going to create some map pressure, but on the other side, the Rexar, since they committed 5 men, the Rexar just committed to the split push, and he was able to get some soak, kind of closing up that XP gap to about a half a level lead now.
The Devil's Rejects seem to be getting their Samurai camp at the moment, and the Baddest dudes are on their turret camp.
Yeah, both teams just going back. So far, you know, neither team really has the pressure at this point, both being on even talent tiers to start taking opposing teams' objectives, but we do see a potential fight going to break out over this Vision camp. Remember, the important thing about the Vision, Taunt goes down by the Varian Sari onto the Junkrat. Junkrat getting down to about half HP. Johanna trying to save the Junkrat's life, gets down to about a quarter. Demon Grand is running away on that Sylvanas, trying to get out of this position, kind of try to create a disengage. The objective camp was picked up by the Devil's Rejects. They did get the experience for it. They do have the siege minion moving in the bot lane, and they're looking to siege potentially with this this minion and create some more havoc due to the fact that they have the Stukov, Junkrat, and Orphea to cause that poke. Siege minion still sitting out. He's doing a fair bit of damage here. They've gotten the turret all the way down to about half health. The Junkrat did get a little too far forward, but is able to just waddle away. Varian getting down to about quarter HP. Nice pull by the Anduin to save the Varian's life. Sylvanas should be able to get away on her own. So nobody dies. That looks pretty dire for the Varian there, but thankfully Anduin had his pull up. That will be 80-second cooldown burnt by the Anduin, but you know, it wasn't all for naught. He was able to save his team member. They saved the tower ultimately, but that is going to cause some sort of pressure on this bot lane that if it doesn't get addressed and they don't get their rotations, the Baddest dudes don't get their rotations down, that could start to open up the map a little bit in favor of the Devil's Rejects.
Varian open, checking the bush if there was not anyone wanted to engage. No. Joanna trying to join the fight.
Yeah, a little late. It's going to be a battle over this. Uriel jumping in. The Sylvanas tried to walk onto the point at low health, so she's going to go down right away. Rexar getting fairly low in the back does go down, so that's going to take Misha with him. Nice kill by the Orphea, able to get the burst damage down onto the Rexar. The Riptide's coming in. Rainer's getting fairly low here. That's going to be a massive damage. Doesn't kill anybody, but it puts them all. Oh, but the Junkrat getting the shots over the wall ends up securing the kill on the Rainer. That had to have been blind. Maybe the Siege Minion did give enough vision that he could see the Rainer, but it looked like those shots were just blind hopes over the wall picking off the Rainer. This should be double towers going over to the sides of the Devil's Reject. So as we've said on Hanamura before, this is going to open up the map significantly for the Devil's Rejects. They will now have priority over these objective camps and can much more easily contest this turret camp and the siege camp in the top lane, which will continue to grow their almost a level and a half experience lead they've got right now.
Yes, I was gonna say they add like the advantage on the ultimates, but still they got a few kills out of it, which gave them even more lead.
Yeah, we're already seeing the ultimates come out. The Johanna went with the Blessed Shield as expected. Orphea going with the Crushing Jaws since she doesn't have a good follow-up for that Eternal Feast. The Uriel does go with that Ardent Defender. So pretty standard ultimates being picked up by the sides of the Devil's Rejects. On the side of the Baddest dudes, it's still the same. The Wailing Arrow by the Sylvanas. We've got the Rainer's Raiders. We've got the Light Bomb. So everything seems pretty standard right now as far as this game goes for ultimate selection. We do see that the Misha is trying to create a little bit of chaos, but that might just cause a little too aggressive with the Misha play. That's going to put the stun down from Rexar for another, 20 seconds, and the Rainer does not have his turret either, or his Raider either. But we're seeing the fight already break out. The
Oh,
Orphea does not let crush you down, but the Junkrat comes down big, landing that ultimate and killing the Sylvanas outright. Varian goes in and lands a nice stun, 3-man stun going out on the side of the Devil's Rejects. Goes to AJ, Varian getting fairly low. It's pretty chaotic going in here. Each team trading kills back and forth, but it looks like the Devil's Rejects are going to be the ones that are going to be on the advantage coming out of that fight. Man, it looked like the Varian could have potentially gotten the kill there, you know, landing the 4-man stun, but the Rex are getting fairly low. He will go down here, and that is going to be 3 kills on the side of the Devil's Rejects. Only 1 kill for the side of the Baddest dudes.
yes. Which gives them level 13, the advantage.
Yeah, we're seeing that talent tier advantage coming out on the side of the Devil's Rejects. So with that talent advantage, they're going to be able to take up their opposing camps. Unfortunately, the Baddest dudes, they're not going to be able to do anything about this, being down a couple members and down that talent tier. It's important to note that 13 talent tier, if there ever is a talent tier to fight down, 13 is the one that you can fight down the easiest. We do see the Stukov getting far ahead and getting rooted out in front, but he does push the Misha all the way back into the core. Doesn't want to deal with that. Orphea getting taunted underneath the tower. The light bomb does go down. Orphea actually goes down. Urel goes down as well too. This could be the fight that the Baddest dudes want right here. The Varian landing a beautiful taunt under tower on the Orphea and a fantastic light bomb to follow up. The Varian should be able to catch this Junkrat. This Junkrat's getting caught out here. Let's see if the Junkrat can, you know, be the master of escape. He doesn't. He gets locked down, and that's 3 kills going over to the Baddest dudes. Little bit of a throw there. You know, they got a little bit overzealous in the Baddest dudes. They just got the experience to get right back into this game as long as they can go secure some of these camps.
I wonder what he can do. Oh, my.
The keep went down to the siege minion. It got left behind and it did its job. So that, unfortunately, is going to create massive pressure in that top lane. But, you know, they did get the kills. We did see a little bit of spark. You know, being down that 13 talent tier, like we said, if they can get an advantageous fight, the Baddest dudes, they're still in this. They can find a fight and they can win it. They got 3 kills there. They get another fight like that and they should be able to push down some of these towers.
Rex are looking in the bush maybe to get something out of it. Just
Varian a little bit late to mount up, and the Baddest dude's going in. Varian's got the light bomb. He lands a 4-man stun onto everybody with the light bomb. Orphea already getting destroyed. Arda Defender being popped by Urel, but this is another fight. We're seeing the Varian come down with the light bomb, and it is a massive combo. Doesn't look like the Varian's still hunting. He gets knocked back by the Junkrat. The Satan saves. He's getting stuck. He's getting body blocked. He's not going to go down, so it's only going to be 1 kill. But again, the light bomb combo. Ooh, Misha. Bye-bye, Bear.
Misha died.
Yeah, Misha's going bye-bye. But we can see the Varian, as long as he is able to get the light bomb on him and get in a great position, he is going to be able to pick that fight. But due to that fight, the siege minion was pushing in that bot lane, and that is going to be bot keep going down as well. So the Baddest dudes, they're finding fights that they can win, but unfortunately the map pressure and you know what we talked about before this map even started, due to just the amount of snowballing that can occur on this map, even finding those fights to try and get back into this game, they're losing on the map pressure, and that map pressure is being able to cause, you know, the keeps to just disappear from the sides of the Baddest dudes.
Top lane 3 catapults maybe going on the core if the Baddest dudes doesn't defend.
Yeah, they either have to pick the fight now or they need to go defend, because those core shots are gonna be massive on the side of the Baddest dudes. It looks like they're looking for the fight. You know, I would expect them to go back and try to clear the minions, but they want this fight. Misha does go in. The light bomb goes down onto the Endo, and he lands a 2-man stun. Rainer getting fairly low here. Taunt goes down onto the Orphea, but the Misha does go down. Junkrat coming out with the bomb. Sylvanas goes back and tries to get a kill onto the Junkrat, but she goes down. Varian goes down as well. That's 2 kills going over on the side of the Baddest dude. Rainer getting caught out here. He's going to go down as well. Everybody on the Devil's Rejects is fairly healthy. They should be able to just walk in this objective. If not, just outright go for the core. The death timers are a little low, so it looks like they're going to go for that safer play, grab the opposing siege camp, push the remainder of this objective in, get some nice core damage going down, and then finish the game on the next team fight. If not outright with the siege minion. Orphea looks like she's trying to go get that wave pushing, you know, add a little bit more pressure. The Misha's going to come in, try and stop this this objective. He's going to sacrifice the Misha to buy a little bit of time, but this objective is not going to be stopped. They did kill the siege minion before it was able to cause some massive damage, but This will be all shots except for 2 going down to the core. As long as they're able to siege with this could be game 1 going over. The variant does go in. He lands. He hasn't landed his taunt yet. The light bomb does go down, but Raynor getting caught in the crushing jaws. Nobody was able to follow up with the damage. Snuggly Ninja getting down to about half HP. Jack of all jumping back in onto the Raynor and to the Sylvanas. The bomb coming in. Riptire coming in. The core is down to about quarter HP. Orphea getting stunned again under tower. Rexar getting pulled back by the Anduin. Anduin being the hero. The core's at 90%. They just have to hit the core with the Junkrat and the Orphea, but they're going for the kills. They just have to hit the core. Okay, there they go. They finally turned on the core, and that will be game 1 going over to the Devil's Rejects.
Oh my gosh. Like they were all about to be dead at the end of the game, but like oh, that was a fun one.
Yeah, that was pretty fantastic first series. Quicker match due to the fact that Hanamura can be that map where we see the teams once they're able to get those bottom towers. That game just kind of starts to snowball out of control as long as you can't be able to pick a fight. But look at the damage by that Orphea, 57,000.
Oh yeah.
Holy cow, that Orphea, even though it was a short game, she was able to put out massive. And Junkrat, I mean, no disrespect to the Junkrat, he put down 48,000 as well. So we could see just the
That's close.
damage that was coming out
Yeah.
on the side of the Devil's Rejects in those fights.
Yeah, of course, especially since Rexar was the top damage and the baddest dudes teams. I think they should be going with a team comp with more big damage, I would say.
Yeah, that was the one thing that we talked about. Coming in, the composition from the Devil's Rejects just a little easier to execute. They had the damage, they had the good engage, and the strong front line. As long as they were able to pick the fights, I really didn't see them losing a fight just because of their composition. It looked like the baddest dudes. They kind of were a little bit scattered. The Varian. The plan was Varian lands a taunt, Anduin puts the light bomb down onto the Varian. Varian lands a massive stun, and then they follow up onto that. But it really wasn't able to do a whole lot just because, Raynor's more of that slow, consistent damage, and Sylvanas, she can get the burst down on one target really, unless everybody's grouped up into a giant ball. So not having the mage kind of didn't help them in the overall strategy of what their comp was going for. A lot of the mages were banned out. We could have seen the Li Ming come in possibly and cause some of that initial burst damage onto whoever variant called out as the target. The Jaina even as a possibility. I know she's not heavily favored right now, but I would have loved to have seen maybe a mage player come out instead of either the Sylvanas or the Raynor, depending on what their strategy is, going into that. And maybe that'll be the adjustment they make going into this second series.
Yeah, both team anyway have really good mage players, in my opinion. I would have expected a Chromie on Demon Ground, but like with the team comp of the Devil's Rejects, I'm pretty sure they didn't want to take any risks on that side.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been it would have been tough to pull out the Chromie. The
Yeah.
Chromie, I mean, I personally love playing Chromie. She's so fun. But unfortunately, due to this map being so open, the W build isn't as
Yeah.
strong of a build on this one. So she'd
Mhm.
probably gone for that Q build, and that Q build, it's very skill shot dependent. It does have the burst potential once you get that quest done, even more so than I think a Li Ming does. So yeah, the Chromie would have probably I would have liked to have seen the Chromie pick maybe instead of the Sylvanas on this map.
Maybe we'll see it next game.
I hope so. I would love to see a Chromie. I haven't been able to cast a Chromie in a long time, but we do have some of her more favorite maps coming up as well available. With that said, let me get you over to the map screen so we can see what we've got coming out for the rest of the series. So game 1 went over to the Devil's Rejects. Baddest Dudes picked it. So the Baddest Dudes, they get choice between first pick or map pick. Don't have any indication as of yet onto which one they have chosen. But looking at the maps that we've got Battlefield of Eternity, Alteric Pass, Towers of Doom, Volskaya, and Braxis Holdout. Braxis Holdout's another one of those fast maps. I haven't actually gotten to cast a Braxis map. Do you know if either of these teams play a pretty good Braxis?
I don't even know actually. I've seen it banned a couple of times, never seen it picked. Well, never. Probably not on my side. I haven't watched every map, but usually it's a map that is banned.
Yeah, let's
So would be curious about seeing a game in Braxis sold out.
gonna see if I can message this team. They do have 10 minutes to potentially make the next lobby, so
Hmm.
I'm I maybe the baddest dudes are sitting there trying to decide, talk over team strategy, figure out what went wrong in that game one, and make adjustments to that game two. And also, if they do go with that maps choice, figure out what kind of map they want to try and play on. Since they did pick that 2 lane Hanamura map, maybe they're looking for more of a another 2 lane map possibility with the Battlefield Eternity or the Braxis. I'm trying to look to see if I know if they play any of these other remaining maps that we've got, if they favor any of these remaining maps that we've got.
Usually, Braxis gets banned a lot in Division E, like I said. Oh, we have an invite from Satan. We'll see which map we are playing on. Towers of Doom, it seems like.
Alrighty, let me get that set up. I do not know which team. Do you know? I didn't get
Mhm.
the invite, so hopefully, let me get. At least I know the map going on. We are going to Towers of Doom, but let's see if I can get invited to this lobby. There we go. All right, I just got the invite to the lobby as well. Devil's Rejects are setting it up, and the Devil's Rejects did pick Towers of Doom, so that means the baddest dudes, they selected first pick going into this map. So they're going with a different strategy. They're going to let the other team
Hmm.
get the map choice, and they want to get that first pick. Maybe to get that first pick prio over onto one of the if it's Towers of Doom, Devil's Rejects, and you said they have a Chromie player, I don't expect Chromie to be a
No,
first
first pick,
pick
no.
priority here. But is there any other, as far as the baddest dudes, are there any other champions that they play that they might want as a first pick
I don't know if
priority
they will
here?
still ban Stitches.
Oh, that's true. If the Stitches, I forgot about that. Stitches is fairly good on this map. This is a good Stitches
Yeah,
map. So, I mean, if we do,
that's everywhere,
it
freaking
seems like the
broke
Devil's
everywhere.
Rejects did do their homework and they do expect the Stitches ban, or they are
Man, so
banning the Stitches.
strong.
But if they don't ban it, I would agree. I fully expect it. I hope we see a Stitches here. That would be
Oh
fantastic.
man. But usually, like I've seen also the Junkrat on the baddest dude side. Like both are good freaking like Junkrat players. And Sylvanas is also played by Jakuval, so I don't know. Like since you didn't see Jakuval pick the Sylvanas, was it a reason for Demon Grand to pick the Sylvanas? I don't know. We will never.
Well, if they go on and they reverse sweep this series, maybe we can pull Demon Grand in for an interview and ask him what was the thought behind the Sylvanas. I like the Sylvanas. If they had a team that worked with the Sylvanas, I don't think the rest of the composition worked very well with the Sylvanas player. They wanted to be the ones that were creating the fights and doing the sieging, and they seem to go with more of like a pick composition with the variant. So I'd have liked to see more. If they're gonna go with the Sylvanas, the Rainer has to be something very heavily burst to be able to blow up whatever target that the variant is locking down there. Thankfully they were able to get some good fights underneath their towers, but maybe like you said, Savior possibly going on to that Junkrat, making this Junkrat suddenly come out as a first a priority pick. And that's the fun thing I always liked about these best of threes and best of fives. Some champions are like never ever seen in competitive play, and then we get to the
Yep.
playoffs and like all of a sudden this champion shows up that hasn't been seen the entire series, and then both teams are like picking the champ, like fighting over the champion. So we're seeing, like, I've seen all of a sudden Junkrat just explode onto the scene in Division E. I've casted probably 10 Division E matches in the regular season. I never saw a single Junkrat, and then over the last two casts in the playoffs, I've seen Junkrat everywhere.
I don't know. At first, like as a offlaner playing my player myself, during the first weeks, it was thrall everywhere in every game. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, I did notice a lot of thrall. Oh, looks like both teams
Hmm.
are signaling they're ready, and here we go. We are getting into the draft for game two, Towers of Doom. All right, so I expect similar things to come out on the side of the Devil's Rejects. They're gonna go probably similar bands, get that Stitches out of the way and everything. The side of the baddest dudes, is there any pick that the Devil's Rejects? I mean, if they're not going to pick the Junkrat, do they ban the Junkrat? Because that Junkrat was just causing
Great.
chaos.
Yes.
Or that Orphea. I mean, look at the damage that Orphea was able to put out. She did get a little over aggressive a couple times, so maybe they're like looking at that as possibly something to exploit again. But we're already seeing Gazlo get out, and Gazlo is very, very good on this map. He has very good double soak pressure. He has the grav bomb, which in this map where there's a lot of little areas to fight over, that grav bomb can come in huge. And there you
That
go.
Stitch is
We're not
banned.
gonna see it. Stitch is
I'm kind
getting banned out again, like right away. They're like, no, we just don't want to see Stitches.
don't want to deal with that. I'm kind of surprised. I'm kind of expecting maybe a Diablo ban if.
That's a good point. Satan does play a pretty good Diablo, and this is a very good map for Diablo. But we do see the Respect Orphea
Oh.
ban. So they saw the damage and they're like, that Orphea put out a lot of damage. We don't want to deal with it. So now, if they've done their homework and they know that Diablo is a big pick for the Devil's Rejects, do they take the Diablo, or do they just say, you know what, we're gonna take the Junkrat? You play Diablo, but we're gonna give you a Diablo on
I
this one.
don't know if Ghost plays the Diablo.
But they do go with the Tassadar.
Tassadar.
So that was the thing that was the ban change from the Devil's Reject, the Devil's Rejects. They did ban Tassadar in game 1. They didn't ban it here in game 2. And we see Tassadar picked up right away by Demon.
Diva and Anduin on the side of the Devil's Rejects.
So they took the Anduin away from the Devil's Rejects. Again, Anduin very good on this map, and with the Diva, just fantastic to put that light bomb onto that Diva. Unfortunately, the stun isn't long enough for the entire channel of the Diva, but you can still get people locked down and take some damage. And Diva, she could double soak very well and get to a Vipe Feral. There you go.
Now we get to see Savior.
Now we get to see Savior on Junkrat. So the Junkrat,
we'll see which one is better now.
The Junkrat hype continues, and Junkrat just all of a sudden exploding, literally exploding onto the scene, and Murden getting picked up by Ghost.
Yes. So no Diablo yet. No Diablo.
With the comp that the Baddest dudes are picking here, I would really like to see Diablo picked up. It does well into Junkrat. It synergizes well with Tassadar, but it doesn't do bad against Tassadar. Like, Tassadar can wall you off if you go into a bad choke point. So if Diablo dives too deep, Tassadar can wall off the rest of the team. So there is that slight possibility that may make them deter away from the Diablo. But Diablo can lock down Junkrat really easily, and if Tassadar is out of position, he can lock down Tassadar really easy. Neither one have a great escape as long as you play around Junkrat's concussion mine. And we see that Mal'Ganis
is down towards Satan saves.
You were mentioning to me before the series, Satan saves does favor that Mal'Ganis in certain maps.
Yeah, I think it's pretty scary pick. Like, we'll see how it turns out for their team on the tank pick. Since that map has a lot of freaking walls everywhere, I don't know, like, might be a good opportunity to stun people. Oh, yes,
there it is. There's the Diablo that everybody was waiting to see, and Tychus comes out as well. So getting a tank shredder for the Murden, trying to, fight off that whatever double pressure comes out. Now is the time where it's like, okay, they've already picked the Tychus. If they were going to go with a Sylvanas comp, maybe they pick the Sylvanas laner to go into the double soaking lane, or even the Tassadar can go there and they could do the Sylvanas comp. But they may just decide to go for that siege. They go with the Urel. Okay, so they take the Urel away. She does do a little better into Tychus, being able to pop that Ardent Defender, time it well when the Tychus decides to use this minigun, so she doesn't get shredded as easily. And Murden can also handle a Tychus pretty well due to the fact that he can just regenerate the HP loss fairly quickly. And they have Deckard, and Deckard does a very good job at being able to lock down targets and also being able to heal up, especially later in the game, and especially if they're able to get into the be the aggressor. So I really like the adjustments I've seen out of the Baddest dudes. I think they've got a much more solid comp going into this second game. Vala did get picked up by the Devil's Rejects as that last pick from Snuggly Ninja. Good overall damage dealer, being able to chain CC with like an APOC coming out of the Diablo, or the light bomb from the Anduin, allowing this CC chain to develop as long as they're in communication about that and lock whatever target they want down.
On my part, I also like the Baddest dudes comp. Yeah, it's funny how the Baddest dudes just went with like the picks that the Devils reject picked the last game. It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna trade you to Junkrat. Like we're gonna show you, oh the Junkrat on our side. Oh, we're gonna show you the ERL on our side.
Alrighty, game 2, Towers of Doom coming down to this. This is playoffs match point on the line for the Baddest dudes, but on the side of the Devil's Rejects, we got D Nasty on that Anduin, Snuggly Ninja on the Vala, Satan Saves on that Diablo, Jackoval on the Diva, and Corso on the Tychus.
And on the red side, we have Tazadar, played by Demon Ground, Ghost playing the Muradin, Savior playing the Junkrat, ERL played by Durlock, and Deckard played by Mike and Matt Phaser.
3, 2, 1.
Alrighty, so this map, you know, we're going to see a little bit different strategy coming out. We're going to see that 4-man still being in that bot lane, but we will and see the solo laner kind of trying to double soak between that top and mid. There is the possibility of doing the 1-1-3 where you commit your mage to the mid lane to help push it out a little faster to stop the double soaking pressure if you don't have it. So I expect if we do see that 1-1-3, it's going to come out. The Baddest dudes are going to be the one to set that tone. The Devil's Rejects, they want that 1-4. Their whole team comp is set around that 1-4, so it would be the Baddest dudes to commit the Tassadar to the mid lane to kind of create that extra pressure. But it looks like both teams are going to go to that 1-4 composition.
Looks like a Diva and ERL are already fighting on the top lane.
Of course, scrapping it up in the top lane. We do see the Muradin in the bot lane getting flipped over by the Diablo. Knockback does not land the stun into the wall, so Ghost will just hop away and heal himself back up, being, you know, just doing Muradin things where he can, you know, pretty much heal himself all the way back up to full. Vala did get rooted by the Deckard, but the follow-up just wasn't there. The Tassadar looks like going to go to that mid lane and try to do that 1-1-3 where he does create some of that pressure. Right now, the pressure is not being created by the Tassadar. The Diva was able to double soak, but the Diva has to respond to the Urel in the top lane. So if that Tassadar does go up there and create that pressure for the Diva's going to have a little bit harder time double soaking, but right now we're seeing both teams just going up, picking up their pumpkins, respective siege camps, and which is, again, pretty standard for what we see on this map. Looks like Savior is doing a little slow. Satan saves. Oh, so Satan had seen that. He may have been able to jump on that point and delay it. Savior had no follow-up, so he was dead to rights. But unfortunately, Satan he may not have seen it or just decided not to pull the trigger. But we see Ghost getting down to about half HP. Savior's being a little aggressive on that Junkrat standing up, but nobody on Devil's Rejects wanted to pull the trigger, and so he's just going to walk away. I'm guessing there's just a little bit of communication lapse on the side of the Devil's Rejects there that looked like they had prime setup position to invade that camp and then to get the Junkrat player, but they elected to back off there and go back to trying to, maybe they just wanted to put priority into pushing their pumpkins and getting this bot lane starting to siege up instead of trying to get that early kill. But we do see all 3 pumpkins coming in, putting some massive tower damage. The Diablo does get rooted out by the Deckard Cain under tower, but Ghost getting fairly low. He's getting shredded by that Tychus. We're already seeing the damage that the Tychus can put out onto a single target. And the Tassadar unfortunately wasn't there because he's trying to force that 1-1-3. It's just not going off as fast as they hope. Murray gets stunned out here. He's going to hop away. It should be no problem.
Ruby's been dropped.
Looks like this Junkrat is just trying to bully as much as he can into that Vala, but Vala's having none of it and just bullying right back. The Vala player's getting really far forward, trying to get some of these kills, but unfortunately none of the kills are just coming through. Ghost does go down. He gets focused by that Tychus. Tychus just shreds, and it was on a unfortunate timing because the objectives just spawned, and so they will be down a member. They do have Junkrat. Junkrat can poke off this objective fairly well as long as he doesn't get caught out.
Ooh.
Nice boot by Junkrat onto Satan. Anduin having to blow the passive to pull Diablo away and keep him alive. But that will be 8 shots going over in favor of the Devil's Rejects.
I was going to say the Baddest.
Yeah, they took the 8. They didn't want the 8 damage. That's not favorable at all for them. But it's Towers of Doom. We always say Towers of Doom. You could be down to 1 HP on your core and you could still come back.
Oh, turn it around.
Yeah, this map is infamous for the comeback potential. I'm sure we may see it here, but
I haven't seen a lot of it played during the this season actually in Div E. stand out pretty often. Not a lot of people like that map.
Yeah, it can be a team that knows how to play the Towers of Doom map very well and has a good communication. It can be a very tough map to play on if you don't have a great strategy. But we already see the Devil's Rejects. They already picked up their camp. Will they potentially try to invade this again? The Murden in a much better position this time around, protecting that bush, not allowing anybody from the Devil's Rejects to get in. And so the Baddest dudes, they'll pick up their siege camp as well and keep that experience lead fairly close. Probably right now, looking at the experience. Yeah, it's pretty much just the kill going over right now, and structure. There is some structure favoritism on the side of the Devil's Rejects, but Diablo knocking.
I would like to mention, some people in your stream say that we don't see the tower shots due to the overlay.
Huh. Let me see if I can fix that real quick. All right, but we do see the Murden going down. Thank you for mentioning it. I have no idea why there is that delay, so there we go.
In that map, it's pretty important.
It's fairly important, and now we've got it fixed. Thank you. See, this is why I have people looking at the chat for me. It should be fixed now. We will have that being blocked out. It is important. It is very important to see the tower shots on this map. So the overlay is fixed. Everything is A-OK. Diablo's going to go, and he's going to land the stun onto the Tassadar. That is going to be one dead Tassadar. That is the burst damage coming out of the Vala and the Tychus onto the target that Diablo wants. And that is going to continue to snowball this top lane. They should be able to get some good structure damage. I don't expect this entire tower to go all the way over, but they should get at least a quarter of the tower being able to. Vala does use the vault to go in, gets knocked back by the Junkrat. Maybe a little bit of a misplay by the Vala. She should be able to get away. Pops the Unstoppable to get herself away. But yeah, that Vala being very aggressive. Murden get flipped over, get stunned into the wall, and Murden is going to go down there. So that is a stagger onto the Devil's Rejects, for the Devil's Rejects onto the side of the Baddest dudes, and they will get to continue sieging up this bot lane.
I haven't actually paid attention to the ults they've been picking. Apocalypse, Rain of Vengeance, obviously. Which is kind of surprising. They don't want to go for more stuns, in my opinion. Yeah, they have a lot of stuns already.
Yeah, it looks like the siege potential isn't coming, or the defense isn't coming out for the Baddest dudes, and the Devil's Rejects, they are able to get this tower all the way down to a quarter HP. So all that's really going to take is just one more wave from those pumpkins, and that entire bottom tower will go down, and that will be huge map advantage inside Devil's Rejects, because this map is usually played to the point of if you get the opposing team's bot tower, you just defend it as a team, and then you will get 5 shots to their 3 for every objective that you pick up, and it will allow you to just have so much pressure. Ghost trying to sniff out this can't pick up, but Satan was waiting in that bush for any potential invade. And both teams just electing to go back, get ready to fight over this next objective. It's one objective, so we should see the whole gang here for a nice big party. Deckard already burning out that Lornado. Diablo going in and getting the stun onto the Junkrat. The light bomb does go down. It only lands onto the Murder, and Apoc goes down. That Junkrat is gone, and Vala is in the back just trying to 1v1 this Tassadar. I think she got it a little deep. She might get the kill. No, Tassadar is gone. The tower does go down as well, so Vala has a place to run to. Diablo lands the stun onto the Murden. Murden getting fairly low. Vala is just sitting in no man's land, but she is able to survive. Snuggly Ninja just being a massive, aggressive Vala, and is paying off. 4 kills going over to the Devil's Rejects and the tower.
Yeah.
Wow, they are able to also pick up their opposing team's pumpkin camp, and that is going to start this snowball. It is looking dire for the Baddest dudes. They're not out of it by any stretch of the imagination, but they're going to have to find a way to get a fight favorable to them that they can get this tower back. That Tassadar being at quarter HP, he's got to go heal up. There's no way he's going to be able to do it being at quarter. Junkrat's just going to try and clear minions with that Riptire. Does get it to go off before it is killed. They're looking to just defend as many of these pumpkins. One pumpkin it looks like got off. Ooh, there is a kill onto the Tychus. Got a little overextended. Snuggly Ninja using the vault to get away. But that is the good way to start off this defense, is to get that kill, wait for your next wave, and then try and siege it down. And the Junkrat will be able to siege down, but Murden get a little so far forward. Diablo landing the stun. The Junkrat did get forward as well, and he gets stunned out by the Anduin root. And the Tassadar goes down as well. Oh, this could be a third. Diablo landing this bomb, the knockback. Wow, and the Devil's Rejects just turned that fight completely around.
So bot tower is in the favor of the Devil's Rejects. So.
Yeah, so you know, it looked like they could have just potentially, you know, sat back. The Murden jumped in a little bit too deep. They probably wanted to just siege up and wait for their next minion wave to get here, since they had the 4v3 advantage. But the Murden looked like he was trying to get in and get that fight going. But now we're seeing this objective is going to spawn in 16 seconds. It's just one, which is good for the sides of the Baddest dudes. That's only one shot that's going to go over, because I don't think they're going to be able to get this keep back before that objective goes off. But they should be able to prioritize focusing on this tower while the side of the Devil's Rejects go and get that tower. And so this is where they want to pick that fight, and they already see it. They get Snuggly Ninja on the Val. Great engage by them. The follow-up stun onto the Diablo is there. The Lornado does not land on anybody. Ghost getting fairly low. That shred by the Tychus is just big. D.Va coming in to zone everybody off with that ultimate. Doesn't look like she's trying to kill anybody. Just get the pressure off while the Anduin comes back. And everything goes back. It ends up being a 1-for-1 trade. Possibly Junkrat getting low, but the Deckard advanced potions are just able to heal him right back up and get him full health. Riptire looks like it is going to come out, probably trying to get some damage, but it just gets killed, and you know, no real siege potential being caused there.
I'm kind of surprised not to see the D.Va going for the siege camp, for the bottom lane to keep it secure.
Looks like, yeah, the Tychus and the Anduin are both committing, so this could be the opportunity. Satan Save's getting down to about half health on that Diablo. This is going to be the tower going back, and Diablo getting rooted there. They may have had the follow-up to get the kill on Diablo, reset his soul stacks, but it looks like they're just committing. You know, they've tried one too many times being aggressive. They just want to secure their tower and get their tower back. And so, yeah, I agree that D.Va not going and getting that camp allowed the Baddest dudes to come over and get their tower back, which is unfortunate for the Devil's Rejects if they're looking to hold on to that thing. And now it looks like they're able to pick up their siege camp as well. So a little bit of an opening there, and the Baddest dudes were able to commit to it and get things going back into their favor.
Yes. So alt use was Lornado by Deckard, so this is down.
Tassadar is getting a little bit stronger. He is getting able to put some of that strong poke out onto the Anduin, hits Anduin and Tychus with that. The root goes down onto the Murden. I don't expect any follow-up from the Diablo there. Not the target he's looking for. The Vala does use one of her Rain of Vengeance, gets the Junkrat down to about half HP. He does have his tap available, so he just goes and heals up. But we see 3 objectives coming up. This is huge for the Baddest dudes. They have to get a great fight here and get at least 2 of these. If they lose 2 of them, it's going to be pretty close to writing on the wall for them. And this is where it starts. Diablo goes in, lands the APOC, flips Murden back over. Junkrat being able to get the Riptire off, but it doesn't look like it's going to be able to cause fight. Oh, he lands massive damage on the Vala. Diablo saves Vala by knocking back the Junkrat, and the Junkrat looks like he may go down. Tychus does get rooted out, but Anduin does pull him back. Diablo flips the Tassadar back over. The Tassadar may be able to escape here, especially if he has his wall. He does. He pops the wall, but Vala going on the hunt again, chasing down this Deckard. Decides to back off. They got what they needed. They got both objectives. They are within range of ending this game. It's unfortunately not boss territory since they are at 5 and the boss will only give 4, but they do have map pressure. They do look like they're going to go for that boss, deny it from the Baddest dudes, get their opposing core down to 1 HP, and now all they need is just one more shot from any objective or any pumpkin that they push in. And Vala looks like she is going to stay down, commit to getting this tower. The wall goes off, but it doesn't catch the Vala. Unfortunate timing there, but Vala decides to stay. She decides to stay. Snuggly trying to man mode it again, but unfortunately this time it just does not work, and Snuggly Ninja does go down on that Vala. That is a kill going over, and that's a 50-second death timer. So that's 50 seconds here that the Baddest dudes, they can group as 5 and create some pressure and, you know, hopefully relieve some of this map pressure that they have. Looks like right now they're just committing to splitting up, you know, some going to the bot lane, some going to the mid, or top lane, some going to the mid. Deckard's setting up potions for his side, but unfortunately your side's not what you need. You got to go set up over the opposing team's side, because if the opposing team gets that, it's game over.
Absolutely, and right now, like, there's only one shot that they need to get. Like, they need to defend both or get kills that can give them advantage both, and then
it looks like they're setting up. They've got potions, they've got Junkrat traps, they've got everything over here over this opponent's thing. Vala just respawned, so as long as they can channel this, they should be able to get their opposing tower. The APOC goes off. D.Va does jump in the bomb to be able to delay this. The light bomb does go down, but it does not hit. Junkrat tire coming in. That's massive damage by the Junkrat tire. Holy moly! This is a massive fight going over to the Baddest dudes. Diablo does get stunned out here. He gets pulled back by the Anduin, but it doesn't matter. That's 2 kills going over to the Baddest dudes. They do get the tower, and they will be able to go get there safely as well. They do have to watch out. This bottom siege should be able to get the tower if they don't go answer for it. It looks like Junkrat and Tassadar are going to rotate down, possibly save it up here. But that was one of the fights they needed of many fights to continue to get back, chip away at the lead that the Devils Rejects here. I may have jinxed it at the beginning of the game. It's to be determined. I said you can get down to 1 HP and still make your comeback. They're at 1
We all
HP.
saw that.
They're starting to make their comeback. Will it continue? We'll have to wait and see here, but they did save that bottom tower. That's stage 1. Now they got to start sieging up that bot lane, get bot lane into their favor, and once they get bot lane in their favor, then they're in the driver's seat for a game.
Man, I swear, if they end up winning with a core 1 HP, I'm laughing. It's just that is.
Does look like the one, at least one of the pumpkins will go off, get some tower damage down. Unfortunately, all members of the Devil's Rejects are alive. They're here, so they are able to clear the rest of them. Each team is on even talent tiers. The Baddest dudes, they did rotate down their Urel. D.Va did come down, follows. It looks like they're trying to pick the fight here. The flip does go down onto the Tassadar, so the Tassadar is destroyed right away. Murden getting down to about half HP, getting down to a quarter. Jumps away. Will he survive? D.Va is going to chase and land it, but the Urel lands a stun onto Snuggly Ninja on that Vala. Junkrat getting rooted out by the Anduin, trying to get away. Got the concussion mine, but Diablo flips him back over before he can launch it, and Junkrat goes down as well. 3 kills going over to the Devil's Rejects right when the objective is coming up. Unfortunate timing, and unless this Deckard and Urel duo can just do some godly stuff, this should be game going over. Mastery coming out. Spam coming out by the Tychus player already. Diablo popping the teleport just to zone off. Does end the stun into the Urel. Deckard landing the tornado, trying to do everything he can. Crowd control walking around. Poor old man. You did what you could, but unfortunately it just wasn't enough. The Anduin is going to channel it, and that will be GG's coming out. Game 2 going to go over to the Devil's Rejects, and that will be the Devil's Rejects advancing to our semifinals.
That was unexpected in my part, to be honest. I thought the wave clear was, yeah. I didn't think that it would take this turn. And then,
yeah, I mean, Snuggly coming out, 60,000 damage on the Vala. I mean, I would care to guess like 40,000 of that was behind enemy lines, just jumping in there with the vault and doing as much damage. I am still shocked that he did that entire fight in that bot lane without dying, where he just vaulted in, was running around. They ended up picking up the tower, so he had somewhere to run to, and just massive damage coming out again by the assassin player on the Vala.
Yeah.
Junkrat, Junkrat put out 56k. The Junkrat was putting out the damage. The unfortunate thing was that Diablo, when he was able to pick Junkrat or Tassadar off when they were just a little too far forward or standing too close to a wall, the Diablo they instantly deleted that target, and it's really hard to win a fight after Diablo catches out one of your assassins due to the fact that you just lost half of your team's damage.
Does the Devil Reject need a mage? Nah, they just need Vala.
Yeah, they just need Vala. Vala was, like I got this, guys. Don't worry. Let me just jump in here.
I mean, these are the Baddest dudes. They didn't even add a mage. Like, oh no, they had Tassadar.
They had Tassadar.
Silly.
I mean, I like the adjustments they made. They're just the execution was they were standing a little too close to the wall, or their assassin players are just a little too far forward in some of these fights. That Diablo was like, nah, I see you, man, you're going down. And as we were talking about in that pregame, Satan, we knew he played the Diablo. We were saying this was a good Diablo map, and he showed how a Diablo can just rain terror all over Towers of Doom if the opposing team isn't paying attention.
Missed a couple of stuns, but I mean, like, there's place for mistakes. I wouldn't even do great myself, so...
Oh, yeah. This is coming from a guy that is... Yeah. Do as I say, not as I do, because I would have gotten caught out a million times as well. Let me send a message over to Satan real quick, see if we can get an interview. See who they want to send our way. we're also going to have to jump up a channel.
Yes.
I don't think they have access. But we're still waiting to see if the Devil's Rejects are going to be able to hopefully send somebody in to get an interview. Let me message him as well.
Hello,
Oh,
hello.
Oh, there we go. And in he pops. As I speak of the devil appears.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Welcome. Congratulations on the win, Satan.
Oh, thanks, man. Playoffs are fucking intense. God damn.
Well,
Do you
you
have the
guys
right to
looked.
say that here?
I was gonna say, for how intense it was, you guys looked pretty calm, cool, and collected in that series, pulling out the 2-0.
Yeah, we had some mistakes. We could I feel like we better. I feel like we could have did better. But
So
good team.
yeah, absolutely. That was a good series. Game 1, Hanamura. What was your guys' strategy going in? I know that how well do you guys know Hanamura? Because it doesn't seem like it's one of the more heavily played maps in Division E that I've been able to see so far. So what was going
Oh,
through your minds when you knew you were going to Hanamura, and how did you go into that match and end up being so decisive with the victory on that map?
we love Hanamura.
Oh, there you
So,
go.
so it always gets banned out, and
Against you,
our,
yeah.
yeah, everybody when it first came out, people don't like Hanamura because it was new. But our coach helped it. Our coach Valkamir helped us with Hanamura. We got a pretty decent strat, which is so which we executed.
There you go.
So yeah, we love Hanamura. We planned on banning their Cursed Hollow and Tomb of the Spider, and I think they didn't know what map they wanted to go to after that, so they chose Hanamura, and we were secretly like, yes,
Activated the trap card.
yeah.
That's exactly where we wanted to go, and we got it. So went on Hanamura. I'm trying to remember the team comp that you guys pulled out there. You when you saw the Varian Rexar on the opposing team, what was going through your guys' mind as to how you wanted to handle that amount of lockdown, and turn those fights around into your favor?
So for the Hanamura and the lockdown, we knew that the Varian would be going in for a stun, so we were like, all right, he'll probably go in for the tank, and I picked Johanna for the unstoppable, and Orphea for that close immediate damage, and the Junkrat for that poke. What was the other pick they had?
On that map,
Let's see.
they had Sylvanas. They didn't have a mage. They had Sylvanas and Raynor on that map, and then they had the Anduin for the oh shit escape button.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, so that was the strat against that team.
It looked
I
like you
knew.
guys were fairly comfortable setting up the fights, having the Stukov, the Orphea, and the Junkrat. It was like, as long as we get set up, there's no way you're gonna be able to do anything to us on that map.
Yeah, with that hard engage with the Varian, we were pretty much waiting for it. Like if we didn't like the fight, we would get out, and then when we did like the fight, we would let him come in, and that's how we executed that.
So moving on to game 2, you won the first map pretty handedly. The option of map was given to you, and you guys picked Towers of Doom.
Yep.
And then we were talking about it all throughout the series, all throughout the draft screen. Is Satan going to play Diablo? Is Satan going to play Diablo? Was it like going through your head, like right when you said Towers of Doom, you're like, yep, I'm going to play Diablo? Or were you kind of just waiting back to see if Diablo was going to more fit into the comp?
Well, last match we played Towers of Doom versus I forget the team, FF and the Pancakes, and they let me pick Diablo on Towers of Doom, and they went with a Wombo, knowing that I was going to go in for a kill, and it kind of backfired on me for Diablo. So I was excited to play Diablo, but I was like, all right, I'm gonna play a little bit more passive with it, especially on towers because it's such a short map with tower damage and all that.
So I mean, the Diablo play came in. They did have the Tassadar, so I was wondering if you were going to pick it up, since the fact that they had the Tassadar and the potential on Towers of Doom to get caught behind, like the Tassadar walling you off from the rest of your team if you dive too deep. But
yep, that's why I didn't dive at all. I think I basically used them for peels.
Yeah,
and that was it.
and then or just hitting Tassadar, and then you're like, yep, we got him, because there's like at least twice I remember where the Tassadar was like, and you smacked him right into a wall, and he was gone in like a second. It
Yeah,
was great coordination from the team to follow up.
I knew like as soon as I would go in, I'd be stunned by Meriden, it'd be a Tassadar wall, freaking Junkrat would be blowing me up, and then I was just like, I'm not even gonna go in on this comp. So I played extremely passive with Diablo here.
I gotta ask, was anybody in comms yelling at Snuggly for just how far he was behind enemy lines and just destroying the entire back line?
So Snuggly's plat. He thinks he's the man. He gets a little cocky, especially when we're ahead, and he loves to freaking overextend when we're up and throw for us. So thanks Snuggly, appreciate it, buddy.
You're gonna have to go watch the replay if you don't remember it. But there was one point where he just vaulted in. And I was like, okay, the whole team's over here. Vol's in the back line. Vol's just gonna die. And I like pulled away from him. And then I look over. I'm like, he's still alive. He's still alive. He's still alive. He's not gonna die. He's gonna get away. What's going on?
So the whole time we were like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Get out. And the whole time he's going, I'm fine. I'm fine. And he's like, I might not be fine. I'm dead. So, yeah, much love, Snuggly.
We were. I wanted to get some music in there for Snuggly's like Rambo, kind of moves going on. He's just like, you know what? I'm gonna go in the back line and just see how many people I can take out real quick.
Break the law. I am the law.
It was hilarious to see you. But Lich Queen, do you have any questions for our victors?
Of course. First game, Hanamura. The kill with the Junkrat, like, what was that? Like, you only had 2 keeps, and me and Ice were talking about it, like, the way that, like, those little Junkrat bombs, like, just, I don't know, how was the vision? I don't know how to describe it. Like, Ice described it better than I did, because we didn't get how it happened.
Oh!
You got... Yeah.
What
one I'm talking about.
You were sieging the opposing team's top lane, and Junkrat, I don't remember which member of the Baddest dudes got behind a wall, and it didn't look like there was any vision. He was fairly low. It looked like Junkrat just started popping off grenades over the wall, and he ended up getting a random kill. And I was like, were those just blind shots, or... I was gonna say, if we got an interview with Savior, I was gonna ask him, or not Savior.
You know what happened?
Corso. Yeah, Corso.
I'm gonna give it up to Corso. That was pure skill. He knew exactly.
he was doing, he was calculating it while he was deciding where to shoot.
I have this situation under control. Like, I can handle it, guys.
Yeah, and that's like that's a huge Junkrat move, is just lob them things up, especially when someone's low behind a enemy wall. And yeah, hats off to Corso for landing those. Those are pretty clutch.
Sick.
It looks like to answer your question, Lich Queen, T Nasty's writing in the chat that they saw vision with the Stukov. The Stukov silence was able to give vision. I didn't see the Stukov silence, so I'll have to go back and watch it. But yeah, in real time, it looked like he was just shooting over the wall and managed to get a lucky shot. And we were just blowing up about it.
Yeah, D Nasty, man, he's the man. He's probably one of the best players on our team as healer, and he knows how to set things up for us, even though we don't even know he's setting them up for us.
Are you gonna say that for every player in your team? I feel like every player in your team are MVP.
I've already shit on Snuggly, so
yeah, for being the solo pushing too far.
Yeah.
But the damage on the Valo was great. Yeah, must admit, was kind of surprised on how, even though you liked the mage in that game, like, you were able to put out the Vala, like, and
I was nervous that we didn't have a mage and that we did have a lack of burst, but I know they had a Meriden and a Urel.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I knew that Tychus was a pick, and Snuggly knows what he's doing as damage and his Vala. So I was like, all right, if he picks it and he thinks he's good with it, so go for it.
Especially since it was banned first game.
Yeah. Yep. And yep. So I think Tychus was a huge pick for that comp, especially with the Meriden and the Urel.
Was it like the team comps that you were expecting it to be made like for both of the matches? Like, did you expected it to be that way, or did you plan it quite differently? Like, I
Um,
know I was expecting Diablo to be picked like somewhere at some point, of course. Like,
yeah,
did you plan to play the Mal'Ganis if they didn't ban it? Like, how was it like?
yeah. Well, I was gonna our main strategy was to snipe one of their tanks, and I know they're extremely comfortable with Stitches. I'm not a Stitches fan, so I don't play Stitches. So we were
Mhm.
just gonna ban him, and if we had first pick, I was gonna snipe Johanna.
Mhm.
So we ended up banning Stitches and Johanna, I think, second map, and then
Yeah.
Diablo was up. And I was like, all right, it's go time. It's Diablo time.
And for the rest of your team, was it like that? Like, was it
Yeah,
like
we weren't expecting them to pick Junkrat, so that kind of threw us off. What else did they pick? Task.
actually
They
they
had
played it
Junkrat,
quite
Urel,
well.
Deckard, Tastar, Murden.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. So the Junkrat was the only one that kind of threw us off, but we seemed to do well against that.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Real quick, tell me, who do you think was your team's MVP for this series?
MVP. I'm going to give it to D Nasty, our healer.
The healer, Stukov and Anduin. He did land
Yes.
some pretty critical pulls in those fights on Towers of Doom.
Yep.
Alrighty, D
Couple of
Nasty
clutch
get
kills.
always good to give the healer, the support player, a little bit of a nod. Their life is more stressful than anybody else, I'm sure. This is coming from an assassin player. I don't know. I don't play healer, but
Your
I'm
life depends
sure
on
it's
that
pretty
guy.
stressful, especially
See,
when
I'm the
you have to
same.
heal Snuggly Ninja going around on that Vala.
Yeah, I don't play healer, so I don't have no clue what it takes, and he does it well. So hats off to him. I don't think he died at all.
He didn't game 2. I don't remember game 1.
Okay, yeah. So
Um, any shout outs you'd like to give on Twitch? It looks like your whole team's here to support you guys.
yeah, shout out to Demon from the opposing team. He's a really cool dude. We play casually, so shout out to Demon and shout out to that whole team. They did good. Shout out to you guys for being casters and contributing to the community and my team and our coach Valkamir.
Absolutely.
Cheers
My
and thanks.
pleasure. So, real quick, I forgot to ask, and I was going to ask this question. The series right now between the Core Bouncers and Bull Moose Party is going on as we speak. That is
Right
the
now.
winner of that series is who you play in the semifinals. Who are you looking forward to playing? Or I should say, who are you rooting for in that series to win?
Who am I
I think
rooting
I
for?
have the answer. Actually, it's like first place and the last place of the playoffs.
I'm rooting for Bull Moose Party.
All right.
Yeah, they
Bull Moose
improved.
Party.
I think
They
from
have.
what I've heard.
The last match I got to watch them, they were pretty coordinated. So
Yeah,
they're my dark horse.
I think I scrimmed with them last night, and they made a complete turnaround. Like their team is looking. I think they're going to be that sleeper team that gets up there and wins it.
Yeah,
Or tries to win it.
I was telling
I
them in the
I
last
plan on
series.
winning it, but yeah.
I
Like,
was watching them, and I
surprise!
think they could be the dark horse in this series. Unfortunately, they have to go against Core Bouncers first, who are nobody to sniff your nose at. But the Bull Moose Party, I think they were my sleeper team to possibly come out and make a deep run going
Yeah, those
through
guys
here.
have been putting a lot of work together, and their macro is insane. And if you make a mistake, they're going to make you pay with their macro. And then next thing you know, your tower's going to be down while you're mid fight and not even know why. So
I was
Oh,
quite surprised playing against them myself. Like, I mean, we underestimated them. I don't know. Like, it was later. We watched the replays from the past and like all their games that they played, and we were like, oh yeah. But what we played was a complete different team. So to see that
yeah,
they're doing such a comeback, it's kind of impressive to me.
core bouncers they would be a good team to go up against. FC Hong Kong, um, they beat us last time we played, so it'd be good to get a rematch against them. And who's it? Illidan Dancing Queens.
yeah. Illa Dancing Queens
Oh.
just finished up their series. They beat Fredonia, so it's going to be FC Hong Kong and Illa Dancing Queens in the semifinals on the other side of the bracket. And then you guys are just waiting to see who wins tonight between Core Bouncers and Bull Moose Party. So I almost have our semifinals set up for Division E. But anyway, Satan, thank you again for the interview. Congratulations on your team advancing to the semifinals, where it will be a best of 5 series, not 3 anymore. So, and I look forward to, if not casting it,
Ooh.
being able to watch that series.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you guys for casting.
Absolutely. Take
You're
care.
very welcome. Bye.
Bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. That was Satan Saves from the Devil's Rejects, coming in with the 2-0 victory against the Baddest Dudes. The Baddest Dudes, I mean, they adjusted well. It just, there was a couple small things that looked like the Devil's Rejects were able to come away with. Yeah, I really don't have much more to add. I think we got a lot of it covered. I'm excited to see these semifinals. They're shaping up how
Oh, yeah.
everybody expected them to. Illa Dancing Queens against FC Hong Kong. That's going to be an awesome series to watch.
Mhm.
And then the Devil's Rejects versus, you know, the winner of the Core Bouncers or Bull Moose Party. Even though the Bull Moose Party, they're my dark horse, it was just unfortunate that they're going against the Core Bouncers. I think the Core Bouncers are going to come away with that one, but if they don't, I mean, that's just proving my point that Bull Moose Party, they've come a long way, and they are my dark horse in this tournament.
I don't actually know how it will turn out. Like, will it be like 2 games? Is it going to be 3 games? I don't even know what they're playing right now. Like, I know I get along with a bunch of them as well, and I don't know. Let me check. Maybe I have some answers. Oh no, I don't. So
Unfortunately, that game is not being cast now.
casted.
I was gonna raid them for the to see how that series finished out. So I'm looking over here. I think I'm gonna go raid. I haven't seen Fujin cast before, so I think I'm gonna raid Fujin's channel. He's got a Division C matchup between Team Rainbow Strike Go and Bloodbath and
Yeah.
Beyond. So I think
She's a streamer. Yeah, it's a new streamer. She was trying to cast like a first game, I think, and
this is
I'm glad she managed.
if this is her first stream, then she's gonna she's
Maybe.
gonna get a lot of people all of a sudden jumping in. So I'm gonna raid Fujin's stream, everybody. I don't have much else to say, so I think any closing remarks you'd like to make, Lich Queen, before I send us over?
No, I really thank you for giving me this opportunity to do my first co-cast with you.
Oh, absolutely! I loved it. I like I said, I've never had that chance to co-cast before, so this was fantastic. But
I was more of a like reaction person. I was like, oh, ha! Like, doing all this stream. Like, I didn't have much besides like sound effects to your stream.
hey, it's fantastic. But yeah, that's all I've got. Everybody, have a fantastic evening from us here. Thank you for watching the stream, and if your night's not over, enjoy the next game of Heroes that I'm about to send you over to. I'm gonna start the raid over here. Make sure you give some love. Maybe drop some follows to raid over on Fuji. But have a fantastic night, everybody, and we'll see you around.